Hey, pretties. Happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yes, it is. I had to look. Anyway, welcome to a very special little live that I'm doing today. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about friendships and connection, and I feel like that's something that we just all need to focus on a little bit more these days. But first off, I got to talk to you about the hat that I'm wearing today. So I bought some hats last weekend, and I'm usually not a hat person. Like, I'll wear them on the weekends or wear them when I'm out in the sun, just because they keep sun off my face, right? Well, Crystal's here. Hi, Crystal. I see she's joining us. I'm going to ask her to join our live right now. So anyway, I got these hats last weekend, and I fell in love because I've got gray roots about this long, and I discovered that putting a hat on is absolutely the best way ever to disguise gray roots. It works way better than doing those root sprays. So anyway, I don't know. I think I might get a kick out of that. All right, so I'm going to see if we can get Crystal on here. Crystal, if you hear me, if you just want to click on the request to join live, I will let you in. So we're going to be talking about friendships today. And I am not the resident expert on friendships by any stretch of the imagination. And here she is. There she is. But Crystal is. So that's awesome. All right, here we go. Are you there, Crystal? Yay, she's here. She's here. See if we can get her on here. I don't know. My Instagram's acting funny. It says she's here. There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Crystal.
How are you? I'm totally like, you stole my hat trick.
No, I seriously did. So
I need
was
a hat.
talking about.
I almost wore a hat.
Yes. Well, I put the spray on mine today, but now my roots are like 3 times darker than the ends because I don't have the right color spray. But you wore a hat to my book signing a few weeks ago, and it looked super cute. And I was like, can I pull that off? I'm like, oh, heck, I'm going to try it. So I got some hats last weekend, and now I'm totally in love. I got this one at Kohl's, and I got like a pumpkin orange colored one too. So anyway, thank you for inspiring me.
When I wore the hat, I was like, I wonder if she ever uses hats. Did you ever style hats?
On myself, no, but I have put them in the capsules in the past, and I usually just skip the hat because, like, I'll do the summer hats, the sun hats, but toward fall and winter, I'm like, I don't know. And then I don't know. It feels good to do things outside of your comfort zone, though. Yes. So I'm proud of myself now.
It looks so good on you. It looks amazing. I'm so glad you did it. Yes.
Thank you. So I'm excited to chat with you today. I was sharing before we got on that I feel like our friendships and our connections, especially during the pandemic, everything's just kind of changed and shifted. And I wanted to bring you on because you're like the resident expert. For those of you who don't know Crystal, she is one of my dear friends. And, you know, I've talked about my struggles with friendships before and how I'm just not very good at prioritizing those connections. And everyone needs a friend like Crystal because she's so good at it. And she just cultivates relationships and connections everywhere that she goes. And I'm just excited to introduce all of you to her today and have her share a little bit of her wisdom with us and guide us as we try to navigate the waters of our friendships. So for those of you who don't know her, I'm going to let her introduce herself and talk to us about HeartStories, which is, well, she can tell you all the wonderful things about it. But anyway, I will let Crystal take it from here, and she can let you know how she got started and where her heart is with her mission. And my signal's bad. All right, I think I lost her. All right, Crystal, if you hear me, we'll wait for you to join back in. In the meantime, here we go. All right. And okay. She should be joining us back up in a second, but anyway, there she is. She's back. Okay. So anyway, I'm talking with Crystal Gornto, one of my dear friends today. We're going to be talking about exploring friendships and connection and ways that we can kind of get reconnected, especially after the pandemic when so many of us have kind of like struggled with those real life connections that we haven't had. So I am bringing her back on here, and she should be joining up in any moment. And it looks like, here we go. All right. Sorry about that. I think our signal's a little bit wonky right now, but thank you everybody for sticking with us. There she is. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, novice Instagram liver. I've hosted them, but I haven't ever been a guest. And so anyway, I was trying to swipe away the comments and I just left. Bye. Okay, I'm back.
It's all good. You're back. You're good. All right.
Okay, so sorry. I'm back. Thank you for all the nice things I know you said while I was gone. You were starting to say nice things, and I was like, oh, I need to hear what she's saying. Anyway.
All right. Anyway, I think we got to the point where we're going to have you introduce yourself and talk to us a little bit about HeartStories and what your mission has been for friendships and connections through the past few years, and how that's actually how you and I met.
Exactly. It's so how fun that we met, because I did at the time a monthly girls' night, and one of my friends was in one of your style challenges at the time, and she was in one of them. She was like, "You've got to meet Alison, and she's local. She's amazing." So that's how we met. You came very highly recommended, and you did yourself proud. You were amazing. Have been since the beginning. Just such a joy. I'm so grateful for the work that you do and for the friend that you are to me. So thank you. Thank you so much. I am not a friendship expert, just so we're all clear. I know what it takes to have meaningful and connected friendships. And that all started in 2012. I had a very successful career in medical device sales, and I was making more money than I ever dreamed I would, and I was hustling, and life was just like hustling right past. And I missed my girlfriends, but every time I would try to plan a girls' night. In fact, I did plan girls' nights. Every time I would try to make arrangements for the group to get together, somebody wouldn't be able to come because of family responsibilities and work, and we just couldn't, like that life that we used to have where we would all hang out, we just couldn't make it happen. And so I finally gave up on trying to make that happen with my friend group, but I would have these intentional girls' nights just with my closest friends. And in those conversations with my closest friends, what I kept noticing was the thing that kept coming up is that when we would talk about just having like simple conversations, but about our lives, that we realized like, oh my gosh, like why have we not prioritized this and made time to be together? Like that was the magic moment, how just sharing our stories, and even just like, I call it witnessing each other's lives, like being able to bear witness to the fact that you were up since 5:30 this morning and you've made 14 trips to the school and cooked 4 meals and, cleaned up and done your day job all day long. Just having someone bear witness to that was so life-changing. Like it all of a sudden, it makes it, even though you're still doing all those things alone, you suddenly didn't feel alone. And so I know you know that feeling. We've talked about that feeling before. And as I begin to analyze it further, what I realize is that so many women are just going through life surviving. Like we're just doing all the things. We're taking care of our business and we're taking care of everyone else. And we're not even, like, we don't even have a clue if we're doing any of it right, because we're not in connection with anybody else and talking about the things, right? And we're often, I have seen, and I know to be true for myself, losing sight of who we are, who we want to be, because we're just surviving. We're surviving through the daily stuff. So what that results in is women feeling completely worn out, completely just alone and too busy to do anything else about it. And then that ends up in us modeling that woman as some sort of badge of honor to the next generation and to the women who are coming behind us, rather than showing them a confident, resilient, wise, rested, connected woman who is healed and free in her emotions. And it doesn't have to be that way. And so that is the reason, that's how HeartStories emerged, is that I decided to leave my career, so that just like you decided to leave your career and help women, getting dressed be the easiest thing we do all day. I wanted to make friendship something that was more accessible to the woman who doesn't have time to try to figure it out. So the beautiful magic of friendship, and what makes my job easy, is that all it takes is me giving women a time and a reason to connect and a place to connect. And the magic just happens. When you connect intentionally, when you spend time together, That's all it takes. Like just showing up, witnessing each other's lives, like I talked about before, it debunks, because we all believe negative stories in our mind. We believe those stories that play on repeat in your mind, the stories that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not rich enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not a good enough mom, wife, mother, sister, coworker, teammate, boss. Whatever those stories are that are playing in your mind, we all have those stories on repeat. And what I know is that when you're face to face with the women, for me, like you, Allison, who I know love me and support me and believe in me, it just replaces all of those negative stories with the truth.
Yes.
And that connection is what gets us out of our head and comparing our real life story to the Instagram feed of beautiful Allison, or somebody that we hardly know, or even our best friends that we're making up these stories that their life is this perfect fairy tale because we're seeing it on Instagram. But when we're in real life connection, even if they look stunningly beautiful, we get to hear the real story. We get to know the real person, and it makes all of the difference. So that's what our heart-shaped, we have HeartStories. We have this heart-shaped headphone logo, and that's what it's all about, is replacing those negative stories that we can so easily play in our minds when we're stuck in isolation with the truth and love and support and connection that comes from real life friendships, being surrounded by the other women who are for you. And so that's the thing, like HeartStories, like those women who are for you, they bring you joy. They help you feel connected and confident, and they give you permission to rest. They remind you that you don't even need permission.
Yes.
So that's why we do everything that we do around at HeartStories. We've been helping connect women for more joy since 2013. So
I love this because when I started going to the HeartStories events at first, and I know that, just talking to other women that were there too, that a lot of times it was one of those things like, oh gosh, I'm just like at the end of my day, it's been an exhausting day. It's been an exhausting week. I've got all these other things to do. And, first off, I would tell myself the lie, like, well, my family needs me, so I should stay home. I shouldn't be going to do this thing. And, just getting myself to actually get in the car, go, show up.
yes.
And then realizing that the first thing that I realized when I got there was like, oh my gosh, I needed this so much. And I love the HeartStories events for the reason that you would always have us like do a sharing time where we have that opportunity to get vulnerable about something in our lives. And even if it was people that I just met for the first time, we just had that instant connection, just having that vulnerability, that share, and realizing we're all going through this. Like everybody is struggling with these same things. Like you said, the things that aren't showing up on our Instagram feeds.
Right?
And,
For good reason. You don't put that stuff on Instagram.
No, we don't want anybody to know that stuff, right? But we do want people to know that stuff, and that's how we make those real, honest connections. So, I know that the pandemic changed things drastically for so many of us, and it may have just came through as feeling like this, I don't know, like something was missing. And we were talking to our friends, we're Zooming with them, we're doing whatever we can, but it just wasn't the same. So,
right.
Talk to us a little bit about what has happened to our friendships and what you've observed.
Well, first, actually, after what you just said, it reminded me that that's one of the things that the pandemic did that was actually beautiful, and more in the beginning than the end, but reminding us that we are all in it together, that we are all struggling through figuring out how to homeschool our kids, and, and our roots were all growing out at the same time, and our eyelashes all fell off, and like all the things that we went through together, and so like in like such a raw human form together. So that was beautiful. That was one of the gifts of the pandemic. But we need more than an hour to talk about all of the other things that happened throughout the pandemic or as a result of the pandemic. But what I would say is, bottom line, that the pandemic shined this big, huge spotlight on this disconnection that we were all already feeling, and we were hiding it with our busyness. Like we were so busy running from here to there, we never had to stop and look at the fact that we feel alone. And I think the pandemic was just this huge spotlight saying, oh, look, there's nowhere to run. Now you really feel alone, and you are alone, like different and the same. But also I think it added so much uncertainty and struggle and responsibility to our already full plates in every area of our lives. And we felt even more isolated, obviously, for more reasons than one. But even when it was safe for us to come out again now, if it is still safe, not sure, still kind of looking over the edge, that there's just been so much judgment and so much, so I feel like the judgment and all of the stuff that's happening is keeping people, like women are wanting to run back inside and hide. Like, okay, never mind, not coming out. You who I thought were safe, you, my friend, just slammed somebody on social media. Now you're no longer safe. And so I think that if we've learned anything over the last year and a half, specifically from the pandemic, is that we cannot rely on the circumstances of the world around us or our lives to make us feel the way we want to feel. Like, if we want to feel a certain way, it's up to us to grant our own permission slips, which I love. You use the word permission, and I love that word, because even though we don't speak that way about it, it's true. Like, we feel like we don't have permission, or it's not okay. And at the end of the day, we're the permission slip writers. So we have to write our own permission slips for the connection and joy that we know we need. One of the things I was actually talking with my social media manager today about is, I think a lot, and Shasta Nelson talks about this all the time, but a lot of women, or a lot of people in general, we've shamed the word lonely. So we're not lonely, we've got tons of friends. We've got friends everywhere. But the loneliness in your body, Shasta says, the loneliness in your body is just the same as your throat feeling thirsty, your stomach feeling hungry, or you feeling tired. Like, those are all just signals from your body that you need to take care of yourself. Like, oh, so I'll go get a glass of water. I'm not ashamed that I need a glass of water. I'm not ashamed that I'm tired after a long day's work, or I'm not ashamed that I'm hungry because I haven't eaten since this morning. So I'm just going to go feed myself or rest or drink water. But friendship, we have put on this whole other shelf. Like, it's not a need. And oh, that longing that I have to feel seen, heard, and connected, supported, loved, like, there's something wrong with me if that need's not already automatically met. Like, there's some sort of shame stigma around it. But at the end of the day, you're the only one who knows what you're feeling inside, and that you feel like maybe your glass isn't totally full and your plates are all full and spinning. And you're the only one who can write yourself that permission slip. So having time with our friends that leaves us feeling lighter, inspired, more connected and joyful and confident, and all of the things, like, you know it, all the things you feel after you've been with your girlfriend, you're the only one that can take care of that and write yourself your own permission slip. And we know, after the pandemic, we need that now more than we've ever needed it before. I think
100%.
Spotlight that. Yes.
Totally. And I love what you said about, I feel like the pandemic was so hard in so many ways, but so many of us felt like we lost control of so many things in our lives. And I love that you said that it really just kind of helps us to focus on what we can control and the things that we can change in order to create happiness and create more joy. And I even saw that with women. They're saying, I'm getting dressed again because this is the one thing that I feel like I have some kind of control over that makes me feel good. So
yes, I remember during the pandemic seeing your people, like all your communities, they're like, I'm getting dressed. Here's my outfit of the day.
Yes.
And I was thinking, that's amazing. That was
the funny
amazing.
thing is, at first we're all like, yes, joggers, athletic wear, sweatpants, and then that lasted about a few months, I guess, and then we're like, maybe not.
right. A few months, like it was supposed to be 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so we talked about ways that we can make connecting with other women a priority. And what about when we're pulled in 100 different directions, especially speaking as a mom? And I love that you already hit on this, because I say this about style all the time, is that we are absolutely setting the example for the generation that comes after us. And I feel like, getting dressed and showing my daughters an example of self-care is so important. And I think that focusing on friendship is, and I've seen this with my girls too, because I haven't always set the best example for them in this area where I haven't made the time. And they're kind of at that place now where they're like not making as much time for it. So how do we do that when we're being pulled in so many different directions?
Yeah, it's a good question. But the answer is more simple than it should be, or than it seems like it should be, that it's a choice, that it's an intention, and that it doesn't happen naturally. When we were in school and we had friends who were in our classes and we saw them, and we had sports and we had all the things where we regularly saw people that we would build connections with. We don't have that anymore. So we have to choose it. We have to choose it for ourselves. So there's two practical things. Like obviously it's a choice, just like working out, getting the right amount of sleep and all the things, and getting dressed, all the things that we do to care for ourselves. But I believe two things. To make friendship a priority, you have to understand the why, which is the things that we've been talking about. But why does friendship matter to you? How do you feel after time? I hit on this earlier. How do you feel after time with your closest friends? And not the one, not your catty friends who are out partying and drunk on a girls' night out. Like, I'm talking about your closest friends. When you've had a heart-to-heart conversation with the friends who love you, support you, the ones that would bury the body. So drop in the comments, those of you who are hanging out with us right now, drop in the comments, how do you feel after you leave time with your very closest friends? Even if it's coffee, girls' night, especially girls' trip, if you've had a long time with them. But drop some words in the comments about how you feel. So my question then after that is, when you think about how you feel, when I think about how I feel refreshed, I feel more joy, I feel more confident. These are all reasons why I started HeartStories, right? Mm-hmm. I feel more inspired to do the things that I'm meant to do in the world. And I feel like people, like I'm not crazy. People believe in me. I'm good at this thing. I should go do it. It's like the best kind of drug there is when you're with women who love you and support you. You get all of those good feelings, and we all need more of that in our lives. So you have to decide, do I want that? And if so, if I need that in my life, then it's a necessity, right? So I'm going to, just like the water, just like the rest, just like the exercise and getting dressed, I'm going to choose friendship in my life. And we have someone saying they definitely feel connected. Yes, which we need more. If you need more connection, then choosing it. So the second thing is you have to schedule friendship. So you decide your why do you need it? And you explain to your own brain, I need it. It's not a want, it's a need. And then schedule your friendship, because it doesn't happen by accident. Just like everything else in your life that's important to you, make a list of the women who are on your team, who are for you, that you are for. Make a list of those women, and then the ones that would bury the body with you, and then schedule time with them, right? So, and tag them in the comments below so you can start scheduling that time. But friendship, it's just like your hair, your nails, your toes, eyelashes, all the things that we put on the calendar because we're not going to get them done if we don't put them on the calendar. Friendship has to be scheduled. And I know it's not romantic, and that's not the way we want it to be, and we want it to happen naturally, but for most of us it doesn't. And so putting it on the calendar, and that is the reason that we did our monthly girls' night out pre-pandemic, and it's obviously the reason for girls' trip. Like, we're putting it on the calendar for you, but I can't do that for every relationship. So certainly when you're feeling pulled in a million directions, it's also like that little ding, ding, ding in your head, like, oh, if I feel too busy for friendship, I probably need it more than I even realize I do. So I need to cut that little slot in the calendar and add friendship to the calendar.
Make it a non-negotiable. That's what make it like your workouts, everything else. I love that. Schedule it. That's such good advice. Yes. And you touched on it already, but for those of you who don't know, Crystal and I are going to be going on a girls' trip, and you're invited. So if you're feeling the need to connect and you want to spend some time with your friends, this is going to be an awesome opportunity to do that. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of actually just getting away.
Yeah. So I think it's funny, we have pasted on our website inaugural girls' night out, like our girls' trip. We've been doing girls' nights and girls' events for 8 years. So did five years straight of girls' nights every single month. So it's a lot of girls' events. So, but it's our first trip. But the thing that, like, I'm so chill because I know, like I mentioned earlier, like I can guarantee you that if you come and show up with the intention of connection and getting your cup filled, you are going to leave feeling inspired, reconnected, refreshed, and ready to take on whatever crazy is waiting for you when you get back.
It'll be there. It won't go away.
It's just what happens when women connect. So yeah, I think that's all the reasons we've already talked about, and that's the reason we need the trip.
Absolutely. So, we talked about permission before. I think this is so important. I love giving women permission to do the things that make their lives more beautiful, that give them more meaning, that make them feel more confident, more connected, more refreshed, all of the things. So let's talk about the woman right now who's sitting there saying, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing, but I just don't know. Like, what do we say, to give her permission?
Yeah, well, let's see. So first, this isn't giving you permission, but I want you to just look in my eyes just for a minute. You are worthy. You are worthy of love and belonging. You are worthy of taking time to invest in yourself. And now I'm going to cry. Oh my. You deserve it though. You do. And you're worthy. So I would like for you, like anybody who's watching with us right now, just close your eyes for a second. And I want you to think about and envision the woman that you really want to be. Like when you think about future you. And it's funny, I was talking to Megan, my social media manager, and she calls her old lady Megan. And she was talking about how old lady Megan is like, sitting on a porch swing and picking berries and doing all in that peace and playing with her grandkids and doing all these things, but she's had this rich, full life of wisdom. So anyway, so let's get back to you. So imagine what you look like. And I don't envision old lady me. I envision like 5 years ahead me. What does she look like? What is she doing? What does she feel? My future self feels strong and confident and connected and free. And yeah, she feels rested, at peace. And when I think about her, when you think about your future self and all the things that you want her to be, I guess my question is, if you continue on the path that you're currently on of friendship and connection with the consistency that you currently have it, is that going to lead you to the future woman that you want to be, the woman that you want to leave and model for the women who come behind you, for the next generation and the ones that are already here? God, it makes me teary. But if it is, if the path that you're already on is her, then you don't need permission. You don't even need to come. Like, you're good. You're golden. But what I would say is, if the path that you're on right now isn't the path that will lead you to that, to become that woman, I just think that you really want to become, you don't need anybody else's permission. You can only give yourself permission. You have to decide, like we talked about earlier, that this is a need. You want to make this healthy change for yourself. And if you wait around for anybody else to give you permission, it's not going to come.
True.
You have to decide for yourself.
Yes.
This is what's best for me. And I think I'll say too, like, the people who, I think most of it, I'm just going to make an assumption that if you're worried about giving yourself permission to come, it's probably because you're worried about who you're leaving behind and what they're going to do without you, whether that be your team at work or your kids. And I just want you to really consider, if you took some time to think about the woman that you want to be, do they really need who you are right now for those 4 days, really 3 or 4 days? Or would they rather have the woman that you're going to be when you come home? The woman who's more connected to herself, who's more confident and rested and connected to her girlfriends and healthy. Is that who they need more of, or is it just you continuing to run and be there for everybody else? So I would just say that, and if you're waiting for somebody else to give you permission, it's not going to come. You have to decide to write yourself the permission slip.
Absolutely. I love that. And it's so empowering too. And it just really sends a strong message to ourselves when we give ourselves permission to do the things that light us up, that we're worth it. And that worthiness is there. And sometimes we have to take the action for the feeling to come after. And I think that's what we need to understand, is that just by taking that action and committing to yourself that you're going to do this, that afterwards it's just going to have this ripple effect of all of these good things happening. So, all right. So let's talk about the details of the trip, the fun stuff. Now, the thing that I love about this is it is totally done for you. Like, you don't have to think about anything. You just need to pack your bag minimally and show up.
Minimally, yes. And you're going to help us with that.
So let's talk about details. Can you give us some of the details of the trip, where we're going, what we're doing, all the good stuff?
Yes. Okay. I forgot we haven't even talked about that yet. Usually everybody knows exactly where we're going. So we are going to Riviera Maya, Mexico. We're staying at the El Dorado Royale. All-inclusive, 5-star, adults only, gourmet inclusive, amazing hotel resort with an incredible world-renowned spas. And it's right on the beautiful Sugar White Beach. And everything is included. Well, if you live in DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth, we've included round trip airfare in one of the options. But when Allison came in to partner with us, she's like, my people don't all live in Texas. So we have included an option for you to meet us in Mexico, which is just you book your own travel and your own flights. When you land in Cancun, the resort will provide the round trip transportation
Transfers.
transfer. Thank you. To the resort. So everything else is done for you though. Once you get there, the wine, the food, the friendship, the connection, all the fun things that come along with an all-inclusive resort. There's 6 pools. There are, kayaking and snorkeling and all the fun things on the beach. There's a million excursions you can take on your own. They have an incredible, they call it a culinary show, where it's basically a cooking show, but you get to eat dinner while they're, cooking, flaming up something fancy.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yes, it's like Fuentes Culinary Theater. And they have like Michael Jackson show. They have all the fun, resort activities. You can do yoga on the beach. You can bicycle all around the property. And then of course there's a million excursions you can take on your own. They have a spa. They have CrossFit. They have, it's like everything you can imagine. They have a gym and all of the things. Or you can just lay on the beach with a book the whole time too. So all of that, and then HeartStories, as a HeartStories, we're going to provide our special content. So Allison is we're going to have a fireside chat with Allison, beachside bonfire, yes. Where you'll just share some of your story and also talk to us about outfit formulas. So we'll have like our special mini class with you. We have my sister Kim, who owns an aesthetic spa, is going to do skincare consults and do free facials while we're there for any of the HeartStories crew. We've got a gal, Ginger Bay Anderson, who has Ginger Bay makeup, and she's going to do makeup and hair for photos, which I'll get to in just a second, but she's also going to teach makeup tutorials, a little makeup tutorial class. And we have Vanessa Corral, who is our HeartStories amazing photographer. She's going to be there taking lifestyle photos, not in your swimsuit. We were laughing about that. We were like, we should probably clarify y'all up in your girl taking pictures when you're trying to just have girl time in your bikini. So they will be, you'll know.
Glad you clarified that.
Exactly, yes. But she's also offering some mini sessions on the beach that you can do with your girlfriends, or you can do them alone. And Ginger is offering hair and makeup touch-up before that. So and we're going to do HeartStories gatherings where we are going to do some intentional storytelling time. We're going to stamp intention jewelry. We're going to do some other really fun things that I have planned that I'm not going to share yet, that we're going to laugh and have a great time. And all of it's optional. So if you want to come and participate in only resort things, if you want to do all the HeartStories things or none of them, it's all just optional. This is our first trip out doing this kind of a thing. And I know that if you come with a girlfriend, you are going to leave feeling rested, connected, inspired, confident, all of the things. And I know that if you engage in these activities, you're going to have even more memories to take home with you, but they are not required. And there's, you get all the freedom. So
I love it. I love it. I love that you can choose your adventure, because I'm like,
yes,
I just want to lay on the beach all day. And sometimes I'm like, no, I'm up for something a little bit more. So that's cool. And I love too that, I was thinking about this would be an excellent opportunity. Like maybe your best friend lives across the U.S. and you guys haven't seen each other in years. Like come to Mexico together. Come to HeartStories. If you two want to go off and do your own thing the whole time and just catch up or whatever you can, or you can join in with the activities, and it's all waiting for you and done for you. And I personally know Kim and Ginger and Vanessa, and you're going to be surrounded with just amazing talent while you're there and so many great opportunities. So let's share where they can find out more information about it, sign up, and all the good stuff.
So just go to heartstories.com, our main homepage, and then if you scroll down just one little scroll, you'll see a big picture of the resort, and you can hit learn more right there, or you can go to heartstories.com/girlstrip. But it's all right there on our website, and we would love to have you. And I was going to tell you, we have a mother and daughter coming together. We have a sister who just booked this morning, who said her sister lives across the country, cool. And they've been wanting to girls trip, and they're coming together. Oh, and pickleball. I didn't tell about pickleball. We have last minute pickleball sponsor of our trip, Pep Pickleball, with Jill Christensen is sending everyone as part of, we have $650 swag bag with your HeartStories t-shirt that you'll get as well. But she's going to ship everyone a brand new pickleball paddle that is a pro level pickleball paddle that's for women, all leopard print and darling. It's so Allison. Yes, exactly.
Yes,
and just the paddle alone is worth $135. And Jill is going to teach us a pickleball class. Anybody Heart Stories who wants to sign up and learn to play pickleball right there on the tennis court in Mexico. So yes, I can't believe I almost forgot about that.
I can't wait. I've been excited about it. I'm so terrible at tennis though. I haven't wanted to try pickleball because I'm like, am I just gonna really suck at pickleball too? But no. I'm gonna give it a try. Might have to have a glass of wine beforehand, but it's all good.
Perfect. It's gonna be perfect. We'll play drunk pickleball.
I love it.
Tipsy pickleball. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Crystal. Everybody, please follow Crystal. Tell us where to find you everywhere.
Oh yeah, so it's just Heart Stories on Instagram and Heart Stories on Facebook, and I'm Crystal Gornto, founder of Heart Stories. So
awesome. This has been so good. Thank you, Crystal. We need to do it again.
Yes, let's do. Okay, thank you so much. Mwah.
Yeah. Bye.